What's going on, guys? In this video, I want to talk about something that's top of mind for nearly every business owner right now, and that is the problem with paid ads and why that problem is only going to get worse here in the near future and what you can do about it. So a lot of my clients are struggling to see their ads be profitable right now, and even the ones that are profitable, they're really not. They're just kind of barely breaking even, or they might be getting a 1.5, 2 ROAS on their ads, especially the meta ads, so Facebook and Instagram. And really the ones that are profitable, a big part of why the only reason that they are is just because of how much of that lead flow is going into automated email flows that we have set up that are completely built around the ad campaigns they're running. And so a lot of that is happening, that the return that they're getting on their ad spend is happening after they've already gone into these sequences and they're going through these sequences. So we're just not seeing brands convert near as many new purchases and acquiring new customers at the very top of the funnel when people hit your site like we were before. And we all know that the main reason for this, or one of the big reasons, is that after losing the iOS data, that's about 60% of the market. So about 40% of the market is Windows and Android, and the other 60% is iOS. And the other thing is that the Apple users, so Mac and iPhone and all of that, they tend to be the higher earning people who buy more stuff online. So not only has Meta lost the majority of the data available, but it was also the more valuable, not just in terms of market share, but in terms of average order value. But here's where things get worse. So this is a conversation I've been having with a lot of clients lately. So I decided to start doing, looking into this more. Even though we don't run paid ads, we do work with other companies that run paid ads. So I wanted to really, figure out what's going on here and what can we do about it. So unfortunately, there's bad news. The problem is that even though Meta still has access to all of that was supposed to be great data with Android and Windows, conversions on Android and Windows are actually going down. So even though they have all that great data, you would think that the algorithm would be improving, but it's not. And a big part of that is obviously because demand is slowing right now. People are just buying less. They're getting hit by inflation. But another part of that is really it's on Meta, is that their algorithm is just not doing as good as it used to. It's just not performing as well. And especially the fact that it still has access to all that data for all of those different devices, and to see performance trending down is really not a good sign, because consumer demand is only going to get lower, over the next 3 months, 6 months. Who knows how long this is going to last? But I don't think anyone's really expecting consumer demand to, really spike in the next 6 to 12 months, which means that those algorithms are getting even less feedback and even less quality data. So I just don't see Meta's ad platform really improving in performance, at all, or in any significant way in the next year. And this is a huge problem, because for a lot of brands, their business has been built on just being really great at converting new customers from their ads. So this is a big problem. This is where a lot of businesses are taking a hit. And so then the question is, okay, so what can you do about this? And this is where, for any business that's been neglecting email and SMS up to this point, this is where you really need to take a stronger look at what you're doing with email, because email has an insane ROI. So, the numbers are all over the place, but the statistics that you can go and, find, there's all different kinds of statistics about this. But I would say on average, because there are some that are a little bit more, a lot higher than this, on average, the research shows that you get a return of $36 for every $1 invested in your email marketing. And that's great, because obviously every business owner would love to have a really cost-effective sales channel. But the other thing, what I think is even adds even more value than just that, just the dollar ROI, is the fact that email is so reliable and consistent from month to month that it just gives business owners peace of mind. So right now there's just a lot of uncertainty. Business owners are stressed out. They're overwhelmed. There's a lot of uncertainty in the market. There's uncertainty of what's going to happen with their business. And I think that a lot of business owners would love to just know that they have at least one sales channel that they can count on month after month, and they have this, at least this one thing that's healthy in their business as far as, what they're doing with marketing and sales. And to me, that's where a lot of the value is. Of course, it's a great ROI. It's very cost effective. That's awesome. But part of it is that for people to perform at their best as business leaders, and if they're always stressed out and overwhelmed, that gets in the way. So just having some level of stability and reliability in their business is huge. And it's something that I think a lot of business owners, if they don't have that, it's something they would love to have right now. And another thing is about email is that you own your list. So right now you're seeing the different social platforms are competing pretty heavily against each other for the attention of the consumer. In a lot of ways, that's great because that creates opportunities for us. So, when TikTok has been very generous with their algorithm as far as getting views and getting engagement by showing your content to a lot more people than you would, the level of organic exposure you would get from other platforms. And especially right now, you're seeing Facebook's kind of fighting back about that. So they've kind of, they're starting to give more organic exposure and reach to Reels, which are basically their version of TikTok posts that are uploaded on their platforms. And also we're seeing YouTube go aggressively after TikTok right now with YouTube Shorts. So again, when those things happen, it does create opportunities for us, and that's great. But the problem is that attention is constantly shifting back and forth, and we're also just kind of spread thin because as business owners, we're forced to build up profiles on all these different channels, which just, again, a lot of times that can just be difficult on our resources of where do we spend our time, money, and energy. And also with attention shifting, what the problem that some businesses have is they've built up this great following on one platform and it's no longer as valuable as it used to be. And now they're kind of having to start from scratch on a new platform and trying to catch up to where they are. But what's great about email is that list, you continue to grow it over time, and it's this asset that grows in value over time, and you own that list, and you always have a direct line of communication to your customers through that list. And while we see all these trends change and come and go with everything else we're doing with our top of funnel marketing, email marketing is always there. It just continues to perform month after month and year after year. So if you are struggling with your ads right now, unfortunately, I don't think that is going to get any better anytime soon. In fact, I think it's going to continue to get worse. Of course, you can do your own research on that, talk to your ads team and everything, and just look at your own data and see for yourself, make that decision. But what I would recommend is really, if you haven't taken the time to actually give some thought to an email strategy, now is the time to do it. Because what's going to happen is, and this is what has happened historically in the past, is that businesses sort of retreat to some of the safer marketing and sales channels, with email marketing being top tier channel in an environment like this, in an economic environment like this. So what that means is there's going to be more competition in the inbox. It's kind of like every time Black Friday, Cyber Monday comes around, the competition in any consumer's inbox is absolutely insane, because there's just so many brands that rarely ever email their list, but everyone's emailing their list during Black Friday, Cyber Monday. And of the brands that do email regularly, they're increasing the frequency. They might go from, one or two emails a week to multiple emails a day, if not at least just one email a day for an entire week or two. So again, it's just so many emails in everyone's inboxes. There's a lot more competition. And so that's what I think is going to happen over the next year, is that more brands are going to be competing. And what that means is we have to actually elevate what we do. So it goes back to doing all the strategies that I always talk about on this channel, which is using good segmentation and really crafting great email content, because it's going to be harder to stand out, because as more other brands start to shift their marketing dollars and they start to focus their efforts towards email and to do a better job with email, now your boring bland emails just aren't going to cut it anymore, because the standard has been lifted. Now, does that mean that it'll be like that forever? Probably not. Once we get through this phase, there'll be some new sexy thing that comes along and people will start to put email on the back burner again, like some brands do. Of course, the best brands they pretty much are going to be trying to thrive at everything. So they're still focused on SEO. They're still focused on email. They're still focused on all their organic and their paid media. But for a lot of the smaller businesses, business owners where they're just, really they tend to stick to one or two channels at a time, they'll probably shift away. So, but right now, this is where the opportunity is going to be, and this is where your marketing dollars are going to go the furthest. So I definitely recommend, if you're not in a position to hire a team to manage your email marketing, to at least use the resources that I'm providing here for free. So, and especially put emphasis on, you've got to get your sales process optimized. So I've got videos on that. So you've got to get your automation set up. You've got to, for your campaign strategy, you've got to have segmentation, and you've got to be putting more effort into your content. The just bland, just sending an email is not good enough anymore. And the other thing is, the way we're seeing all these tech companies make changes and kind of restrict data and all that, is they're getting way more trigger happy with sending you to spam. So, and again, that's going to be a reflection of poor engagement on emails. So using segmentation and sending emails that people actually want is even more critical than it ever was in the past. So please use the resources I'm sharing here. If you're already sending emails and you're looking for something to help you just kind of, how to structure and how to organize your emails before you send them, to make sure that you're giving yourself the best chance for success and you're not making mistakes, then check out the free checklist I have linked below, or go to the website whenbeforeyousend.com and you can download that there. And of course, I'm going to keep posting videos here and sharing all of my tips and tricks to help you get the best success you can with email as we go forward. So if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next video.